Welcome to another video for tutorial for things in the RapidForm Minecraft mod. In this video we're going to talk about the copy-paste wand, and there's a couple of them, and also the find-replace wand. And so the first one I'm going to talk about is the copy-paste frame wand. In version 1.2 of the mod it had an icon like this, and it was just called the copy-paste wand. Now it has this kind of frame looking surrounding thing in 1.3 to kind of differentiate it from the other copy paste wand. So if you're 1.2, use the one that looks like this. If you're 1.3, use the frame looking one, but they both work the same way. So what happens in the copy-paste frame wand is you have to have a frame around the area that you want to copy. The frame shows the wand exactly what the area is that you want to copy. So the frame has to extend one block beyond what you want to copy because the frame itself could be anywhere. So when you shift right click on the frame, the wand will follow all the blocks of the frame type. So make the frame different than what you want to copy. It will follow all the blocks of the frame type until it figures out the bounds of the area to copy. So right now, because we clicked right here in the middle, we copied everything in the middle, so all these pieces of wool. And when we click on the ground to place it, we'll get a structure of this 3x3 of wool, and it will be placed right right beyond how we clicked it. So it'll be placed right here. And so I will demonstrate right here. So notice how it placed one right in the middle. If we were to copy paste here, it would place one off to the side, and so then you would get that structure off to the side. Notice it does support rotation, so as I turn anyway, it will rotate as I turn. And that is intentional. It works with most things very much. So all the basic structure types, like basic block types, including things like furnaces and some of the more specialized types, including banners. The one we currently have trouble with, is the skull. There's something going on with the skull that makes it so I can't actually copy paste that one. Now note, the frame doesn't have to be complete. I didn't have to build a frame the entire way around the structure, nor does the frame have to be in this shape. As it traverses, it's going to find a block, the farthest one this way, the farthest one that way, the farthest one that way, which would be that one, the farthest one up, which would be this whole row, and the farthest one down, which would be these ones below the ground. Now note, I show here that those blocks have to be connected the whole way to define the area. And it can be any awkward shape. So you could even have something that would do like this. And it would come out here and then go up one more. That would even be sufficient to show it the overall size. And then, of course, again, whenever you click, you're going to get that structure. All right, 2x3. So again, just build a frame around. In 1.3, there's also actually a cube wand, which has a mode to create a frame, which makes that all easier. So for example, I could create a frame that is 5x5, and that is 5 to the right, 5 to the left, 10 away, up 8, and down 1. And I could put that around, whoops, let me put one more away here. I could put that frame here around this thing, and then when I want to use the frame wand to click it, it's going to get the whole thing specified by that frame. But it makes it a little bit easier if you want to create a structure and you don't want to create the frame manually. You can use the frame wand to create it. Well, sorry, the cube wand in the frame mode. So that is pretty much the basics of the frame-based copy-paste wand. 1.3 also has a copy-paste wand that uses dimensions. Very similar to the cube wand, you specify how many blocks to the left, how many blocks to the right, how many blocks up, how many blocks down, and away. And so for this one, we'd be 1 to the right, 1 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4 up, and then 0 down. So we'll do 4 up, right, left, down, 0 away. We actually only want to get these 2. And so away only needs to be 2. We right click in front, shift right click, again to get the copy, and then we paste and we have that same structure. Notice again it does support rotation, so you can go anywhere you want to and rotate it and get what you want. So that's the copy-paste dimensional wand, or just the copy-paste wand. And again, if you mouse over these things, you get what they have. That number there is a UUID describing the copy-paste what it copied, and so that's not really for useful. It's just useful to know that they're different. All right, and so that's how the game keeps track of the things that it copied. Additionally, in 1.3, just a couple other notes. Again, clicking goes up, shift clicking goes down, and I added if you do a control click, you will get, or a command click on the Mac, control click on the PC, it goes by 5. Same thing up and down. And that way, for some of these which have a lot of different options, you can move along more quickly. The last one I want to demonstrate in this video is the Find Replace wand. This is quite a bit more complicated than the ones in the past. So let's go ahead and create ourselves a frame. Again, this frame icon demonstrates that it requires a frame to work in. And what it will do is any block within the frame area that matches the Find selection will replace with a different selection. And so right now we don't have anything here. So let's go ahead and just splat out a couple different things. We'll use a little bit of wool. Let's use some white wool, some yellow wool, a little bit of more white wool just for grins, and maybe some pink wool just to spice up a little bit more. Okay, so there we have those 3 kinds. Now let's say, for example, that we don't like the white wool, so we want to convert the white wool to, let's say, green wool. So what we would do is we would put down some white to get selection, and that would be a shift right click on the white wool to say that's what I want. And if you click on the white wool, if you click on the wand, right click on the wand, you can see that it's looking for air right now, and it's replaced with wool. And you say, well, that's not really what I did. What happens at the first right click always puts in the bottom, and then they kind of push up a little bit. So just keep in mind that normally the pattern is you shift right click on the first one, shift right click on the one you want to replace with, and you get wool and wool. Okay, and unfortunately it doesn't tell you the colors, it only kind of knows the basic block type. But again, shift right click on what you want to find, shift right click again on what you want to replace with, click on the frame, and it will replace the things that it found that match. And we had white here, and we had some white over there, and so it kind of got all that white. And if we undo, we'll go back to the white, we can see that it did indeed find those. The Find Replace is actually pretty smart. Again, it supports the notions of rotation in the sense that it doesn't. It's going to replace exactly what you clicked on and matching against in here. That way, if you don't have to turn and kind of figure out what the difference is. And so you normally kind of see this sort of thing with torches, furnaces, and things that have facing. So if we put this torch here, okay, and let's say we have a torch on that side, and let's say a torch on this side. If we put a torch again on that side and one on this side, and we actually have to shift click, make sure you select the torch, shift right click on this torch, shift right click on that torch, and we should see this torch rotate to that block. And we do that and we see it moved. Okay, again, we clicked on that torch because it was that exact facing. It does not support the rotation notion, so no matter where I click, it's going to be a torch facing that way, and it will put it on that facing. We'll undo that again. I click on that one, so I shift right click there, shift right click there, and again within this block it's going to move that torch. Now we can do the same thing obviously the opposite way. If we were to do this one to that one, there's nothing for this to stick to, so it wouldn't work. It doesn't move on that side of the block, it rotates within this block, right? So it's not around the block, it's within the block. So the Find Replace works with pretty much anything you can do. So I could change the torches, indeed, from this kind of torch to the stone. Or you could change it to, glowstone or whatever else. And it supports the whole area. Also, if you shift right click on the air, it's going to replace the bottom option with the air and push that one up. So now we have stone and air. And if I shift right click, I have them both to air. So this would be Find Air Replace with Air, which is kind of meaningless. But we'll do one shift right click and we'll say that's going to be the stone now. So it's going to find air and replace with stone. And if we go do that, we'll fill up the whole area with stone, which is kind of not that very interesting to see. Let's go ahead and find some glass instead and see what happens when we replace with glass. And so let's go ahead and do that. I'll clear it, 2 shift right clicks. And then 1 shift right click on glass. And now we have a little glass frame, and it's the whole thing, it's solid. And you can kind of see in there how it's framed around those torches. And so you can use this to frame in areas with glass to hold up other things temporarily if you're trying to figure out volumes with a like. And of course you can replace the glass with something else. So I could shift right click on the glass, and I could then go decide to replace that again with wool. Shift here, and so it'll find the glass, and I can say I really want to get rid of that wool. So I'll shift right click on the wool, shift right click on the air, and notice it's find wool, replace with air. Again, it's the white wool, and now that white wool that was there is now gone. Let's go back up a couple steps. The undo wand works with all this, and so I'm undoing back to where I was. Alright, so that's pretty much the extent of the find replace. The converter is something that's very similar, and it simply replaces the thing you click on with the thing you've shift right clicked on. So if I shift right click on the white wool, and I click on the pink wool, it's going to change that to pink. Now notice it didn't do all of it, and that's because it has to it finds the adjacent ones, and so it found this pink, and that's not pink, so it didn't continue going down this route. It's only going to convert the things that touch, that are contiguous. That's why we have the bounds. So if I go out here in the ground, I'm going to change all that bit of ground to wool. So the the converter wand is very similar to the other ones. It just it follows whatever it touches as adjacent, whereas the find replace works inside this frame. And if you have played with the converter wand before, of course, the fun thing to do is to change things to air, and then you can kind of see the world. Now I'm in a super flat, so there's not much to see, but if you could get down and look at the ores or this sort of things, that would be a lot of fun. Okay, that's it for the copy paste, the find replace, and the converter wands in the RapidForm mod 1 version 1.3 for Minecraft 1.10. Thanks, and have a good day.